So here we have our paint samples place values laid out. And we're going to try to read this quite large number. So what I've done is I've written the full words down, because instead of having just like the quad and the M and the B, if students are starting, you should probably have the full words on the post-it notes. And I find it does help to have it connected, but to read the post-it note after the number. So 802 quadrillion, 412 trillion, 913 billion, 862 million, 790,000, 385. So I've just written that "and" there under the hundreds place to emphasize that we have to say the "and" in English. We generally do in Australia, at least. LingoJam will then, if you go to lingojam.com, numbers to words, it will give you immediate feedback if you just type in the digits that you've read it correctly or incorrectly. It doesn't have the "ands", unfortunately, but it has the "and" on the last bit, but not all of them. But it's still not a bad immediate feedback mechanism. More importantly than that, you want to assign real life values to these items. So I don't know about your bank account, but we're going to get rid of these and these and these and probably more, but at least we've got some real life items that students can probably connect to a little for these if we do it like this. So this is the ones place. So you ask students, what costs about $1? And there's not much these days, but we might say like a little lolly. Like if you buy a pack of lollies, one lolly or one lollipop might be about $1. So then our tens place, what costs about $10? So you take the students' contributions, but for my one, I'm going to go a lunch order. Like a lunch order might be about $10 if you get snack and lunch with that, maybe a drink. $100, maybe a pair of shoes. Some students' shoes are far more expensive than that, but you know, an everyday pair of regular kicks, not really premium kicks, about $100. 1,000, so you might think of that as around electric scooter, electric mountain bike, something around there. 10,000, so if you're talking 10,000, you might think a jet ski or a dinghy type of boat. Not any fancy boat, just like a basic watercraft of some sort. Hundreds, thousands place, 100,000 might represent a nice new car, of quite a luxury car, but not like super duper luxury. Not your Ferraris or anything, but sort of your BMWs, Mercedes, smaller versions of those. 1 million, a house, unfortunately, in most states in Australia. 10 million, a house in Sydney on the beach. And 100 million, a yacht. So then if we've assigned these real life values, instead of having 800000000 to represent it in expanded form, which just means nothing, all those zeros. It's just too many zeros for even adults to compute and to visualize that as money. We can assign this as, okay, if we have this number, what we have is 8 yachts, 6 cliffside, beachside houses in Sydney. We have 2 houses in Melbourne. We have 7 nice new BMWs. We have 9 jet skis, like Sea-Doo Spark jet skis. So pretty low range jet skis, but super fun. We have 0 electric scooters. We have 3 pairs of new shoes. We have 8 lunch orders, and we have 5 lollies. And that way, if you see place values like this, you suddenly go, wow, 8 yachts and 6 houses in Sydney and 2 houses in Melbourne, or 6 beachside houses in Sydney and 2 houses in Melbourne. That's a lot of money right there. So then you just keep rolling these onto it and changing it, and that drastically changes how many yachts or private islands, how many houses in Sydney, houses in Melbourne, lunch orders you end up getting for that same, well, for a different number, but that same place value worth. And that's my favorite way to conceptualize place values in real life, because it's so hard with all those zeros. You know, humans are very limited, the research says, all of us, in terms of conceptualizing big numbers. And that's why sometimes we make big financial mistakes quite easily, because these big numbers just look like nothing to us, or too much to us sometimes. If you're at a house auction and you get scared, but you really did want the house, but yeah, it's just all those zeros can freak you out. So if you assign based on students, so the students should come up with their values for each place value, and you've got to negotiate those so that they do make sense. You know, you can't say this is a bike and that this is a lolly. It's got to be something the teacher helps the students and guides them through. But then you can try to assign real life values basically to each place value.